Hello.
Hello.
We are Loops and Lap Bars, as you probably know by now.
Yes, and we are here today at Thorpe Park for our first visit of this season, actually.
Yeah, and the first time in a very long time where it's just a visit to Thorpe Park. There's no events on or anything like that. It's just standard, run-of-the-mill Thorpe Park, which is quite nice. But there's so much to wander around and see. Obviously, Big Easy Boulevard being new, the new. Well, the thing on at the cinema, what's it called?
Ready Player One.
Player One experience. We've got Hyperion to look at and things like that. So yeah, there's quite a lot to go through. But as you can probably tell, we are already sat down. So yeah, we've got in, we've done a couple of rides, and we've just had Takataria because it's probably about the best in terms of the food options. Saying that, pizza and pasta's decent when we've been there, but pricey. Yeah. So what was it, £9.50 that we've just paid?
Yeah, £9.20. Dave had a naked burrito and got the better deal. I had a full burrito, and whilst filling, I'll be honest, the £9.50, would I pay it again? No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, especially when you compare like a 12-inch burrito, which was like that, to the big pot. You'll see it here. Yeah. It does feel like one of them was a better value than the other, considering the same price. But anyway, that's Takataria. Back to starting of the day, we had a look a bit around the shop, but then we headed down to Saw, which is something we're going to talk in excess about a bit later on. As for the ride today, normally you find it really, really uncomfortably rough.
Yeah. Today wasn't too bad. It was a bit knocky, but it weren't as bad as it usually is. That's good. That said, though, it could have been because it was first few rides of the day. Coaster's not warmed up yet.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's nice and thrilling though, and considering that's your first UK coaster this year, isn't it? Not been on anything else,
yes, it is my first UK coaster this year.
I enjoyed it. It was nice and thrilling, and because of Hyperion, it's opened up the back section substantially, so that you got quite good views of what's coming and things like. It's just been improved at least a little bit by Hyperion. Might as well touch on Hyperion since we keep banging on about it. It's been testing today, which is old news at this point. Everybody's seen it testing. Yeah. And my opinion of Hyperion is that I wasn't that interested. I haven't been for a very long time because it's just tall. That's kind of all it's got going for it. I've kind of thought it's been too criminally short. What Thorpe Park needed was a hyper in the same sort of vein as Shambhala, an out and back, up and down kind of thing. However, seeing it and seeing the stall, the 3 seconds of airtime that you get on that stall, does look pretty good. It's going to be a short and sweet thing, but I'm open. My mind is quite open to it. So I don't know about you.
Yeah. It looks a nice coaster, and sort of in comparison when you get here, because I know people out there that don't do coasters generally will be going, 236 foot, that's quite high. It's only 20 foot bigger than Stealth, which you don't actually realise till you kind of get here and you see it on the skyline along with it and go, oh, actually, that's not too bad. And it's not yes, it is bigger than Saw because it's next to it, but retrospectively, it's not actually that much bigger. So if you are coming, don't be put off because the stats are flying around and it's this tall and it's that. And to put it in comparison, because I know a lot of people have said, it's 200 odd foot with just a lap bar. Shambhala's 400 odd foot with just a lap bar. Is it not 400?
No, it's 250. But anyway, so Shambhala, there's other rides out there that are taller and faster than what Hyperion is. Hyperion's just got some unique things to it. I think that's what's worried a lot of people. Yeah. But lap bar is absolutely fine. I wouldn't name myself Loops and Lap Bars if they weren't safe. Yeah. Anyway, moving on to that, we went on to Colossus and we queued. It was about 30 minutes, and it was about that. They said 30 minutes, about 30 minutes. But getting into the station, it does look really nice in there. They've freshened up a little bit, and obviously the whole track looks. I say the whole track, half of it looks fresh, doesn't it?
Yeah, the paint job they've done on the track does look really, really pretty, and they've tidied up the shop. That looks really pretty as well. But like Dave says, because they've only painted half the track, the other half that isn't painted does blend in a little bit more, but it's a bit of a stark contrast.
Yeah, it stands out a bit like a sore thumb compared to the cleaner new track. But enter the station, get sat down on the ride. We picked front row because we've found that front row is the best, and I will attest to that now, having done it myself, because Tracy couldn't do it. It turns out the restraints are just too tight.
Yeah, I had no problem with the restraints clicking, but the seatbelt that's at the bottom doesn't extend, and because it didn't extend, they therefore couldn't clip me in all the way, which was the issue. Even though they advertised that you can get up to chest sizes of 51 inches on there, I'm nowhere near 51 inch. So I'd like to see how they actually work that one with a 51-inch person.
Yeah, it is a very tight one because I've never had problems with Colossus before, but yeah, that seatbelt needs to move a little bit because there's only 4 years separating Colossus and Stealth, I think it is, and yet Stealth seatbelts, they're extendable, and they're just alright. Their restraints are still crap, but they're a lot more forgiving. So that's those two.
Then we decided we were going to try Samurai. Well, I say we decided. Dave said, Trace, you should come on this. No, I don't like Samurai. I've discovered this today. It's far too... If you love not knowing where you are, or if you want to do the comet vomit, then yeah, by all means, go try Samurai first, and then you might rethink that. It's
really, really disorientating, but I don't mind Samurai because it's run a bit slower than what you'd get at a fun fair, because I don't particularly like fun fair flats because they can run too fast and make me sort of really feel ill. Samurai was one of those I was expecting to make me feel ill, and I've ridden it a couple of times now, and it's absolutely fine. It's good fun, I find, because it's whippy. It can sometimes hold you in awkward positions, but then you'll whip back. But I felt like you kind of had to ride it. It's its 20th anniversary, exactly the same as I think I rode Quantum last year for its 20th anniversary. So yeah, we don't know exactly what we're going to do next. I think Stealth might be on the cards, but we've got to go and see Big Easy Boulevard, as we've said. We're hoping to get in to do the Ready Player One experience and just generally see how the Sparkle project's gone on around the park. What we've seen so far, it's quite
very good.
The dome looks very nice.
It does, yeah.
And they've this is, I suppose, a little tiny thing, but at the bottom of the dome, where the entrance exit to Quantum is, they've now got doors there.
Yeah.
Instead of having a member of staff trying to hold the crowds back, there's electric doors and they just all open automatically at 10 o'clock. So there's that. And obviously, we've also got merch to look forward to, so can't wait for that. Yeah. So yeah, we'll have a wander and we will update you where we've been when we've done it.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that we've really missed that. That's one of Loggers Leap's logs, and obviously it's dedicated to Princess Diana. That's pretty cool. Covering Tracy. They're just in the. I think this is a sensory garden, isn't it? Out by Stealth.
Possibly. Either way, nice little garden full of Japanese aces and plants.
Yeah.
And they've done it out for this year. We come in here a couple of years ago and it was looking a bit overgrown, and they've tidied it up over the close season. It looks really, really nice.
Yeah, it was tidy enough back then, but now it's just really serene. The only thing I will say is I don't know if you can hear the noise, but Amity's WWTP radio is carrying a little bit too much into the area, but it's nothing much anyway. So we did dinner and last update, and we moved on to the shop. That was the thing we went to next. Had a look around merchandise, and I'll be honest, I'm finding that merchandise here is not quite as exciting as what Alton Towers was.
Yeah. They have got a lot of new pins this year, which is good, and it's nice to see rides like Flying Fish, Mr. Monkey Banana Boat, and Rush getting their own pin badges finally. Yeah,
it's nice to see stuff like that. The pin badges, as you say, are very good. It's not as though there isn't any new merch in that. There's far from it. It's just that I don't know, it's just not blowing you away.
Yeah, they do have some new stuff though for homewares. Like they've got a set of 5 or 6 stacking mugs this year, which is really nice if you want to theme park up your home a bit more. The one thing they are doing over Alton Towers is they are doing offers on like the bears and the pillows. You can buy like 2 for 24 quid. So that's nice to see as well.
It is. It's just, I don't know. I just wish there was just more. But I suppose that's, we've been spoiled by Alton Towers. After that, we went into Big Easy Boulevard, and the area, it looks really nice.
Yeah. It's nice and pretty, and when Mardi Gras comes along, if they're doing it this year...
Last year, they've already done it.
No, they've already done it. It's going to fit in incredibly well with that. And I'm going to be interested to see where they take the rest of Amity and potentially with the Sparkle project over the next couple of years and see where they do that as well.
Yeah, if Amity Speedway even exists anymore, where Stealth is, and obviously Amityville, whether that gets incorporated into the Big Easy sort of area. But yeah, it's a nice, pretty area. I still don't think that the bumper cars kind of fit. Considering that Stealth's supposed to be 1950s and Amity is 1950s area, then you've got Big Easy Boulevard, which seems to be 1900s, a bit later.
Sort of predominantly they've based Big Easy Boulevard around New Orleans.
So they're the bumper cars for me. I feel like they stick out a little bit. It's just because they look too modern, that's all.
Yeah.
But after we'd done Big Easy, we went into the Sunset Cinema to watch the Ready Player One 4D experience.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Yeah, it was good. Neither of us have seen the movie, so we went into kind of blind to that one. But yeah, it was very enjoyable. It's nice to see the cinemas had a bit of a done out, both inside and out as well. The chairs were looking very fresh.
Yeah, I just feel like that there was an awful lot of the film that was just film. There wasn't an awful lot of 4D going on, and it's kind of a shame because they did do the race sequence, which I know about from trailers and stuff like that I've seen when Ready Player One came out, which I was quite excited for, but it just didn't quite hit. And I think that's probably because there's other cinemas that we've done out there that have sort of put it to shame a little bit. Even Legoland Cinema, even though that one's quite dull, it's got real fire effects, which was pretty cool to see when we did that. But it's not bad, but it's not the best.
No. And you do get to keep the 4D glasses they give you as well, which is a really, really nice touch. Because they're paper, so if you're scrapbooking, taking them home for mementos, you got that side of it as well, which is nice.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice, I suppose, to keep the reusable plastic ones, but I don't know why they did that. And then, as you probably hear in the background, it keeps making an awful racket. I say racket's wonderful. Stealth. It was a 10-minute queue, and we did not wait 10 minutes.
No, we didn't. I think we barely waited 5, if we're completely honest. They are chucking trains around on Stealth today, and Stealth seems to be running really, really well. The launch was punchy. Neither one of us were expecting the punch.
I exclaimed. I think it was bloody hell or something like that. I've ridden Stealth multiple times. I think it's probably one of the most ridden rides that I've done in the UK, and I know what the launch is like, but it still took me by surprise. It feels like they've sped it up, even though I know they haven't. But the whole area looks really pretty.
Yeah, the paintwork, the Sparkle project, that's done really, really well. It's now feeling like a 1950s speedway, complete with adverts and stuff like that. And the Ben & Jerry's cafe, because they've done it, fits in a little bit better, which is nice to see as well. Yeah,
I suppose next... Swarm is probably the next visit. If not, then we'll be heading round to do Quantum and Vortex and things like that, possibly Rush. And then just general wandering around and things like that. It's been quite a relaxed day. It's not too busy as well. I think the biggest queue that we've seen is Nemesis Inferno. It's always Nemesis Inferno, 45 minutes, but Stealth's at 10 minutes. You can't really argue with stuff like that. No. So, we'll have a wander around to the Swarm and see if there's anything changed over there, and if not, we'll just enjoy a bloody good ride on the Swarm. See you in a bit. Swarm? It's what we have in Yorkshire when it's a bit hot. first a bit on the merch. Got some jumpers down here, they're priced at 45. Obviously Ride resins, they're 18 quid. Hello! Saw socks. Socks are 7.50 a go. Obviously more Colossus resins there, Colossus cups. Cups are going to cost you... Doesn't have a price on it. Is it a price on the bottom? Free. Oh yeah, they've got a little bit of design inside. You can't see that on the camera. Oh, there you go, yeah. That's something interesting at least. All the old logo stuff. Prices varying, as you can see just there. More socks. More socks. Caps at 16 quid. Bucket hats down the bottom. Oh, they've got the new logo on. That's interesting. They're 18 quid. She needs a jam sandwich. I think they're finally running out of the annual pass holder stuff, which obviously wasn't very popular. I didn't mind it. It's something that they tried that was alright, but not really my thing either. These are the cups that Tracy was talking about earlier on. So they all stack, and you got them 3 for 28, 5 for 45. And I don't know if that would include annual pass discount, because it's obviously an offer. It's a cup.
Yeah, decent size.
Yeah, not quite the buckets of buckets that I have though. So. Various array of cups. Actually, I might get myself one of them stealth ones. They're pretty cool. Water bottles. They're going to be setting you back 15 for the Colossus ones, 12 for the Swan ones. And for those into a bit of a tipple, 4 quid per shot glass. You got Thorpe Park branded ones, Colossus ones, Stealth, Inferno, Saw, Swarm, and then older style ones down there. They could do with having a deal on those though, I think. 25 quid for your t-shirt, I think that one was 45 down there. 50 for your hoodie, 50 for that one. 28 quid for your t-shirts, and they do go up to 2XLs, but not everything goes up to 2XLs, which is a bit of a shame. More Ride resins. And I'm going to be honest, I don't like these at all, but I don't like Ride resins. I'm going to go into that a bit later on, I think, but hold that thought. Some of the older design socks and bags. Do you know how much the bags are? The bags are unpriced. Hang on, they are 15 quid. Oh, that's not too bad. I quite like these. These little timers, they make it look like an erupting volcano. That's pretty cool. And those are, once again, unpriced. Is it on the bottom? Oh, 6 quid. Not unreasonable then. And a snow globe for 12 quid. It's like a terrible Ride resin in a snow globe though.
Looks better than the Ride resin.
Yeah, cups are nice though. 50 quid for your hoodies again, and then these ones down here, they're 60, so they're a bit on the pricier side. I like those though, but I know somebody who's bought one. Hey George.
Have you got a hot date that happens to like horror? Well, now you can dress them in the best. Like Saw shirt, you could probably get away with it for a Hawaiian themed night. However, a bit expensive at 45 quid, but you know, if your date's worth it.
Seems like good quality though. They're very thin. So it means that you're not going to get too hot in them, but it's entirely up to you if that's expensive or not. They were not entirely sure why like Billy the Puppet's got really sparkly shoes, but
What I can assume is that they have taken their cues from Dr. Frank.
yeah. Got some of these last year. Wonderful. Bit on the tighter side for the 2XLs, but they are very nicely made, and they're still going strong, year on. So, once again, the newer stuff's embroidered, so it's going to last. The mugs are 12 and the bottle opener, that's a tenner. Let's have a wander through the arcade, because we've been in here before and they've had pop badges in the machines, and if they've not been in the machines then they've been in the shop. So it's always worth popping in just to see if they've got any pop badges in the machines. Looks like they haven't at the moment, but you never know. Yep, fortunately no pop badges. I do wish that more parks would do stuff like that though, where they put park related merchandise behind tickets.
Hello again, yes.
So we're just in the Last Call Cafe, just getting a coffee. And first thing to point out is that obviously we're in here, and the shop that used to do the Ghost Train, which was obviously open for a year, it's completely shut. It's completely shut. There's no merchandise there at all now, which makes you wonder why they went through the effort of sorting it in the first place.
Possibly, which, given we're in the cafe, it could mean A, they're going to extend the cafe, or B, there might be something bigger coming for this ride and they're clearing out. But that is obviously pure speculation and just a suggestion at this stage.
Please
do not take that as gospel.
Yeah, Ghost Train could really have done with doing something more doing to it, but anyway. So yeah, after last update we said we were going to go and do the Swan, but we ended up getting sidetracked and going on the Flying Fish, which is clearly the superior ride. I hate the Flying Fish.
I love it. It looks like they've extended the ride cycle. You now go around 5 times, so for those of you that have got smaller ones and they absolutely love it, they're going to love it. For those of you that have got adults that don't really like it, you're going to hate it, and it's going to be funny.
I just find it very, very tight and uncomfortable, but it was built in obviously a completely different era to some of the other rides. But that leads nicely on to the Swan. Nothing much has changed with the Swan, but to be fair, not much needs to change. I think they have done a little bit of work in the station. You're just tidying up graffiti and stuff like that, like they normally do. But
yeah, they've done a bit of tidying up. They have done quite a lot of tree clearance as well.
That's not just with the Swan. That's with the all rides. Yeah, there's quite a lot of the greenery has been taken away, but not like just cut down. It's just been tidied up. Yeah. Which is kind of nice.
Swarm toilets, they've been painted up. They are now Swarm green inside, and they've taken out the essentially the camping sinks, and they've now got proper sinks in there, which is nice to see. They look like they've done a couple of. They've fixed a couple of the lights as well on the ambulances and the fire engines.
Yeah, so a lot of the sound effects are working, and the rotors were working on the helicopter as well, which I know just sounds, at this point, really pathetic. It's like, oh, an animatronic thing's working, but yeah. And then on to Walking Dead from there, and once again, nothing's changed with the Walking Dead. It's still the same ride, apart from...
They did have some
live actors at the very
end,
which was nice to see. Now, when we've done it before, we've had live actors, it's usually 1 or maybe 2 walkers that are walking around there. This time we had a walker and a survivor who was on the phone, was like trying to get help sort of thing, which was unique, I suppose.
Something a little bit different, yeah.
In terms of the ride.
Walking Dead today, absolute walk on. It said 10 minutes. We were literally...
See, I did there. But yeah, it was pretty much straight on, and I like Walking Dead. I know that a lot of people don't particularly like it, an indoor coaster and whatnot, but I think it's something that Thorpe needs. Yeah. Obviously, say needs. It's not like it's a new roller coaster or anything like that, but it needs more indoor attractions. And it does actually. Something I was thinking on the drive down here. Thorpe Park could do with an interactive dark ride, a properly well done one, and that is what I think that they could very well do with Ghost Train. Yeah. I don't know whether you want it to be interactive like Jewel or something like that, but maybe a Curse at Alt Manor kind of ride. But me personally, I'd stick an interactive dark ride in here. I think, considering some of the clientele, a more mature shooting game would do very well here. Especially if the competition stuff like what Thorpe Park's clientele's like. It's based more for adults and things, but I think we're pretty much kind of done for rides now, aren't we?
Yeah.
As I say, towards the end of the day, we're going to be doing a behind-the-scenes tour of Saw, which everybody has raved about. Yeah. So we did Walking Dead last year, off the back of those rave reviews. We couldn't get on Saw last year, and we have this year. So if Saw turns out to be pretty good, we may end up doing the Ghost Train behind the scenes, because although the ride's a bit naff, it's still nice to see what the systems are like behind the scenes. Yeah. And that's it. We'll see what that's like. Do some final closing statements in the car and whatnot, and leave you with it. So that's us for now. You know,
Yeah.
I'll add some on if needs be, but otherwise this is us. And here we are.
In the car.
Oh, having just finished doing the not the Walking Dead, saw the ride behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And first and foremost, just want to say a very, massive thank you to Max and
Thank
Kia
you.
for taking us around. Extremely informative, and I like just everything you could possibly expect of them.
Yeah.
They were lovely and fun. I know it sounds
fun.
they were fun. But yeah, is there anything you want to add on to that before we get into the meat and bones of what we saw?
No, I am all good.
Yeah. So it was well worth the money. I personally think that the Walking Dead one has got more to see, but obviously the Saw one is you see a lot more, sort of the actual behind the scenes things rather than just seeing the coaster lit up.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first thing that I'll put spoilers here, so if you don't want to know what happens, don't go any further. But fair warning now. The first thing that we saw was the control booth, of which that's quite informative. You can see a layout of the track and the block sections and stuff like that where all the trains are.
The amount of CCTV they've got on that ride is insane.
Yes,
it's absolutely insane.
Apparently, Saw the Ride is the sort of the benchmark. If you get to operate and run Saw the Ride, you are seen as a very sort of high standing in the sort of the theme park sort of thing, because of the amount of work that goes into making the ride work, which is quite interesting. I thought. I don't know if you find that interesting. I do. I find the behind the scenes stuff really interesting. Next room that we went into was sort of an access corridor.
Access corridor underneath the track, and you genuinely don't realise how high you are up. You kind of do because you're going up the stairs, but because it's all enclosed, you don't really have any kind of notion of how sort of high it actually is.
Yeah, it's very tall building.
Very tall building, and then when you go sort of behind the scenes and you're faced with essentially grated stairs with what you can see is floor underneath. It's a little bit unnerving, because it's just like, okay, did not actually realise I was this high.
Yes. So yeah, we made our way down a few sets of stairs, and then we went into sort of a maintenance area underneath the track, which was really quite cool, because you are literally face to face with the train's wheels. Of which all the trains were in the station sat there. And yeah, it was I thought it was really interesting to see myself.
It's really interesting, like being underneath the track and being able to sit there and go, look, I can fit underneath the track and Dave can't.
The track stands about 2 inches taller than what Tracy is, so that's quite funny. But what I didn't realise is that on roller coasters, obviously they have the road wheels which run on the top, the side wheels which run on the side, and then the upstop wheels which run below. They're the ones that stop the roller coaster from leaving the track. They're not actually touching in the station. They're below it. I presume as the ride progresses that they become tighter up, but I just thought that was kind of interesting that they just sit there like that. Next section they moved on to, we went down there, continued down the same flight of stairs to the very bottom. And we went into a room that was, Max kept us in suspense for, and it's like, open the room, and we were into
the first drop where you'll see the trap come down with the big needles on, depending on what track you take.
The same track, but they've got the swinging axes as well as this thing. And I always thought that as you come out the track, I thought it was vertical. Very very small vertical drop. It's not. It's about 70, 80 degrees. Still pretty sharp. And from there you can also see the syringes room, which as the train continues around, air bursts towards you, and those are syringes, supposed to be firing syringes at you. A lot of people don't realise that because they just hear a lot of noise. But interesting, and
exactly,
And what's also interesting, very much like the Walking Dead one, is that because the track, these sections of the ride are normally dark, you can't see all the junk that they leave behind. Obviously, there's a lot of maintenance stuff as well, but there's boxes and things like that could be moved, but they don't, because they don't need to. And then the final room that we went into was like the pièce de résistance, as they say, which is the inline twist room where the cadaver is in the floor, and the water spurts and stuff like that. The bathroom scene from the first film. And yeah, that was very pleasant. I mean, it could do it. It sounds really stupid. It could do a bit of tidying up down there, but that's part of SAW. They explained, didn't they?
Yeah, they did say that essentially SAW's one of the few rides in the park that generally doesn't get cleaned because it doesn't need to.
It adds to the aesthetic of the ride.
It adds to the aesthetic because it's meant to be old abandoned warehouse. What was also interesting is a lot of the concept art and design and the initial sort of thought through for it is pretty much how you see it today.
Yeah.
They've stuck true to plan on pretty much everything, which is really, really good.
I'm going to say I'll put a
Walking Dead.
They
changed quite a lot from initial concept.
Yeah, I'll put some pictures up here of some of the slides because if you really want to get properly nerdy, they've got heights of the fences and stuff like that. You know, there's probably more information than you're ever going to care for.
Yeah, 9 different fences around as well.
Yeah, but I just thought it's interesting. And as with the Walking Dead one, we got a poster as well as a VIP lanyard and a pin badge as well. And unlike the Walking Dead one, this one's not a VIP pin badge; it's a pin from the shop. But you know, that's an £8 value.
£8 pin.
So what did we pay for the
62 quid altogether, I think. £62 each.
So if we're going on that, minus the £8 for the pin, that makes it even cheaper. It's well worth the cost of entry.
And it's one of them. You don't have to be an enthusiast to do it. You don't have to like roller coasters to do it. It's dead interesting from that perspective that you could essentially take your gram round if you really wanted.
Yeah, because if you're into roller coasters, then great. But if you're into SAW, engineering, anything of that. Yeah, I just found it really interesting. Because it's kind of my job role. I'm an engineer by trade sort of thing. So, yeah, I'm gonna waffle on otherwise if we don't keep it a bit short. So, back onto the park. Operations have been stellar today. Specifically Stealth. The trains were, pardon the pun, rocketing out of that station. The Swarm was the same, though there was a few little bit of delays there, but I think they were training some staff up. But even still, they're training staff, and they're still getting them out at that rate. That's amazing.
Yeah, I think the longest queue we had today was possibly SAW this morning at about 20 minutes, and maybe Colossus at half an hour, 40 minutes nearly. That was partly though because we did front row as well. Yeah,
otherwise we'd have been on a bit quicker. I say we did front row. I did front row. Because it was mentioned earlier on, the restraints are very tight. But the only big coaster that we didn't do was Nemesis Inferno, and that's just because we didn't really it was always a long queue, and we just didn't really feel into it. Sparkle Project's looking really sort of good. It's obviously there's some ways to go, but it's a big park. They can't do it all at once. All the staff have been excellent. Maybe there's some of the retail staff. We did find they were a bit cold. That's about the only thing that we could say. And special shout out as well. I didn't unfortunately get your names, but there was two ladies that met us this morning and said they follow us. It was really sort of exciting. And then there was another family who said that they followed us, and they specifically said enjoy Europe. So this is a shout out specifically to you guys. So if you watch this, do let us know. Other than that, that's us signing out from Thorpe Park.
Legoland tomorrow. So
Legoland tomorrow for the first time this year. Once again, outside of any events or anything like that. So looking forward to that. So next one of these videos that you'll be watching will hopefully be Legoland. So we'll see you there.
Bye.